Story 1. AITA for only buying my parents stuff that cannot be shared or taken while my brother and his family live with us. My brother 32 has been knocking up his wife 32 since they were in high school. Their oldest is now 13, but they have 3 more. She is a stay-at-home mom, and he works as cleaning staff at a FIFO camp. It's pretty good money, but they waste a lot of it. They have multiple gaming systems, and the 2 oldest kids have very new iPhones. I, 28, live in the loft above my parents' garage. I do not pay rent because my folks want me to save up for my future. I help out around the house and I buy groceries for my parents as well as myself. My brother and his family live in the in-law suite in my parents' basement. It was supposed to be a rental to get them some extra money for when they retire, but after my brother lost his job because he would not get vaccinated, our folks let them move in. I also love to buy them gifts, but my brother and his family always needed exactly what I happened to give them. For example, I brought my mom a very colorful bag from Colombia called a mochila. It is just a woven cotton shoulder bag made with very vibrantly colored yarn. My niece 9 saw it and wanted to use it for a project at school, where she promptly lost it. I got my father a bottle of Van Winkler bourbon since he loves to have a drink after a long day. My brother and his wife found it and drank it mixed with orange juice because it was so strong tasting. My parents are saving me about $1,800 a month. That is what even a roommate situation would cost me in any neighborhood I would be willing to live in where I live. I tried paying them rent, but they won't take it. They are European, and for them, it is normal for kids to live at home until they get married. My dad injured his back a few years ago, so some of the stuff I do around the house is stuff he would have to pay someone to do. For example, I shovel snow, cut the lawn, take out and bring in the garbage cans, etc. My parents are not hurting for money. The basement suite where my brother and his family are staying was being rented out as a short-term rental. My loft over the garage was my dad's man cave. My problem with my brother is that he and his family do nothing to help around the house. I was gone for work one week, and they didn't even help with the garbage. On top of that, they mooch or borrow anything they need from my parents. Another example of that is food. I used to leave all the special treats I bought my folks in their home. Last year I bought them some pastries from a bakery they love. I left them on the counter in the kitchen as a surprise for them to discover when they got home from church. They found the empty box. The box wasn't even in the garbage, just empty and on their kitchen counter. So now I do other stuff. I took my mom to go see Anastasia and I got us really good seats. No one else was invited. I took my dad out for a steak dinner and then to a speakeasy in our city and treated him to a $160 cocktail. These are things my parents love doing but won't waste money on. I keep the groceries I buy in my loft. I will make meals for my parents and have them over. Or I will bring the ingredients and cook with my dad. My brother started asking why I don't leave the groceries in the freezer, fridge, or pantry that they have access to, and why I stopped buying my parents gifts. He says that I'm living there for free and I should give them more. I asked him how much he was paying them in rent or how he was contributing to the household, and he said he was tired on the weeks he was home and that his wife and kids were too busy to help. I work a full-time job. I volunteer at a cat rescue, I do theater sports as a hobby, and I still manage to help with yard work, housework, errands, and helping with my grandmother who is in a locked-in facility for dementia patients. I pointed this out, and he said I was being a little bitch. I said I wasn't stupid enough to leave anything around that he or his family could steal. Now we are fighting, and my parents are upset. His wife called me an asshole for not sharing the treats I buy for my parents. I can afford to buy treats for my parents and I, but not for 5 more people who do not contribute.
In my opinion, he is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 2. AITA for telling my brother not to make himself a sandwich while my girlfriend cleans the kitchen. My girlfriend, 35F, and I, 36M, are hosting my brother, 34M, for 2 weeks because he has a training in our city. It's the first time we've hosted him for this long. Usually he comes visit for just a weekend. And for such a long stay, differences in eating habits, cleanliness, helpfulness with chores, etc. are starting to clash. Politely, but still. My girlfriend and I spend a few hours on Saturdays cleaning our apartment and cooking for the next few days. I was hoping my brother would at least propose to help, but he hasn't. He went for a walk when we started, came back later and stayed on his laptop, then took a nap. At 4 p.m. he was hungry. He had snaked on a hot dog in town during his walk instead of coming back to eat with us for lunch. So he asked me if he can make himself a sandwich. I said, sure, but if my girlfriend is cleaning the kitchen, you should wait or eat a banana or an apple. I know that my girlfriend doesn't want anyone in the way when she's cleaning a room. She is using that time to call her family. Besides, I was already a bit annoyed that my brother hadn't proposed to help, so to go as far as sitting in the kitchen eating a sandwich while she is cleaning, I found this rude. He doesn't want a banana and would like bread and ham. I said, ask girlfriend if you can, but don't be surprised if she says no. He went in the kitchen to ask. She was cleaning and calling her mom. The kitchen table was full of stuff, blender, soap, etc., that she had just put aside. She would have needed to move them to make space for him, or let him use the counter, which she was cleaning. She pointed him to the fruit basket and, just like I did, told him he can have a fruit. He didn't take anything. He came back to me and complained that we are extreme for not letting him have a sandwich, that he has never seen that anywhere, and that anyone would find it abnormal. I had no response. To me, it sounded absolutely normal that if you are invited in someone's home, especially for such a long stay, you don't get in their way when they are busy cleaning. But my girlfriend's mother had overheard on the phone when he had come into the kitchen and told my girlfriend, "Come on, let him have his sandwich, the poor thing will starve." So she came out and told him he could have it. Now I'm not sure whether we are the AH for telling him no in the first place. Edit to make it extra clear. I'm not expecting him to deep clean our house. I'm expecting him to do the minimum, like putting his cup in the dishwasher, not making a mess that we have to clean after, etc. I'm a bit annoyed that he doesn't naturally chip in to help when he can, but mostly because that's what I do when I'm invited somewhere, including his place. I see my host doing dishes. I'll take a dishcloth and start drying them, for instance. Or if I'm staying several days, I'll offer to cook a couple of meals. But my post was more about the specific situation of asking him not to go in the kitchen while my girlfriend was cleaning, vs. my brother thinking he should be able to make himself a sandwich whenever he feels like, and I'm not even strict on that. He made himself a sandwich in the middle of the night. I have no issues with it.
I do not think he is an asshole. What do you think? Comment below. Story 3.
AITA for making my in-laws stay in a hotel after they surprised us on our family vacation. I, 37F, took a beach vacation with my husband, 40M, and our 3 kids, 4 to 3 months. We also invited his sister, husband, and 2 kids, 4-3, as we had a detached bedroom from the main house and we genuinely like hanging out with them. I told her we wanted to keep it small this year since we have a new baby. I'm pretty fresh postpartum and I didn't want it to be too stressful. While we were at the beach, we see my mother-in-law, father-in-law, stepson, 20, and his girlfriend pull up. This is a 3 hours drive from where we live. They came to surprise us at the beach since we haven't seen my stepson in 2 months. My sister-in-law said they've been planning this for weeks and she gave them the mile marker. This was a cool surprise, but afterwards they expected to stay with us in our 1-bed/1-bath rental house with no real doors, only sliding doors. They had no plans for lodging or eating, so we got to work to make dinner, which was fine because I had packed extra food. Due to space constraints, I put the baby down for a nap in the restroom. We had 2 pack-and-plays in there. When I went back to check on him a little later, my stepson and his girlfriend were in the transparent glass shower together, steps away from my 3-month-old baby. I went back to the kitchen and told sister-in-law they cannot stay with us. My husband told them they could because he is out of touch with what that would actually mean. 6 adults, 2 toddlers sharing 1 restroom where 2 babies are sleeping. I told her what I just saw with stepson and girlfriend in the shower, again reminding her it's too many people going in and out of the restroom with 2 kids asleep in there. She understood and started looking up hotels. My stepson's girlfriend was already scoping out the couch and she could have slept there. But after wrestling 2 babies to sleep in the restroom and my 4-yo to sleep in the actual bed, the couch was the only place I could sit and have a glass of wine at the end of the night, in peace. After getting a hotel room, they stayed at the beach house until midnight playing poker on the patio and shouting. My husband asked his dad to please be quiet since the kids were sleeping and father-in-law loudly shouted, "Shut up!" and kept playing. This has since caused major conflict with my husband as he believes we should have just let 4 additional people stay since they are family. We paid for half the hotel room and my sister-in-law paid the other half. For context, we have been to the beach one other time with my sister-in-law, last year, but have never been with my mother-in-law and father-in-law. My stepson has been gone for 2 months but will be in town the next 3 weeks. So it's not like we wouldn't have seen him the next day when we returned. I understand they wanted this to be a fun surprise, but no one considered how this would impact us as a family traveling with 3 small children in a relatively small beach house. AITA for making my in-laws stay in a hotel after they surprised us on our family vacation.
I do not think she is an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 4. AITA for not letting my partner fake propose to me while on vacation. My F28 partner, M30, and I went on vacation last week for our 2-year anniversary and just got back 2 days ago. It was a fantastic, amazing, and romantic vacation, all up to the point when my partner suggested we ask a stranger to take a picture of us in a fake proposal in front of the Eiffel Tower. When he asked this, my heart started beating so fast I immediately assumed he was saying fake proposal, as a ruse for a real proposal, which is not something we have talked about yet. I think I just said, "Wait, what do you mean?" And he said that proposal pictures in this spot were really popular, and that we should take the opportunity while we can. I said that I wasn't really interested in a fake proposal picture and that I thought it was weird that he would suggest that. We moved on pretty quickly and went to dinner. When we got back to our hotel that evening, I asked him about it, since it had been on my mind and I could tell that I had actually really upset him. I asked him explicitly, "Were you planning on actually proposing to me and I ruined it?" And he said no, that he doesn't think we are ready for that step. And for the record, I agree. Our relationship was long distance for the first 8 months, and I'm planning on moving in with him when my lease is up in January. He said that he always thought the proposal picture in front of the Eiffel Tower was really romantic, and that he's worried whenever he actually does propose it won't be as romantic as Paris. So he wanted to get the picture while we could. I apologized, but told him that I was only interested in actual proposal pictures, and that I would love them whenever, wherever it happened. He has been pretty crestfallen since this conversation, and I really feel like I genuinely ruined something for him. I called some friends when we got home and got mixed advice, some agreeing that it was a really odd request, and some saying I should have just taken the fake proposal photo, which would have been no harm done. AITA for not taking the photo with him?
Personally, I think that she is an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 5. AITA for taking my necklace away from my sister. I, 16F, attended a sporting event yesterday with my family. This includes my 1-year-old sister, whom we'll call Ellie for privacy reasons in this post. She's super attached to me, so I had her on my lap during the game. At one point, Ellie started to get really fussy and fidgety. She started tugging on my necklace and trying to put the charm in her mouth. I told her, "No, sweetie," and took the necklace away from her. We did this back and forth a few more times before I gave up and stuck the necklace down my shirt so she couldn't get to it. When she realized that she couldn't get it anymore, she had a very loud meltdown. My stepmom stepped in at this point, but she was absolutely mortified. She started lecturing me about being the grown-up here and that I should have let Ellie have the necklace because it would have kept her quiet. She even threw in an "I'm sorry Sissy was mean to you" to Ellie. AITA for taking my necklace away from my baby sister?
In my view, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below. Subscribe for more interesting stories.